Welcome to Once Upon a Coin, documenting the ongoing history of blockchain and cryptocurrency. And as always, I'm your storyteller, Jason Cassidy. Today's story is a special one in that it touches upon the very heartbeat of blockchain and crypto. We venture out into the digital currency world to take on new adventures and challenges, but once we've successfully taken those on, we always eventually return back home. Well, today we look at what home is for most of us, and when it comes to coins and tokens, there's only one place that could be. It's where we trust our hard-earned money to be kept safe, but it's grown over the years to represent a lot more than simply storage. This is the story of crypto wallets.
Sun cast a shadow, a digital line is coming over the mountain and over your mind. Go down your Bitcoin, hang on for the ride. We're moving into the future, one block at a time. We're moving into the future, one block at a time.
Okay, with something as paramount to digital currency as wallets are, naturally, we've got a lot of ground to cover here, so let's just jump right in. Crypto wallets have been around since there's been cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin to store them in. Wallets allow users to send, receive, and safely store cryptocurrencies, making them an essential part of this ecosystem. A coin or token can only exist in a few places. They can live within a block before they're sent out to miners in the form of transaction fees and block rewards, or they can live within a user's digital wallet. If a wallet is set up to receive coins only, then they can be sent there via a burn address, making them permanently unretrievable. In this case, you know the wallet's public address, but not its private key, making it a one-way destination. And this is because without the private key, coins residing in that address cannot be accessed or spent. If no one has a private key to that wallet, then no one is getting their hands on those coins. Ever. In terms of security, there are two states a wallet can exist in: hot or cold. Hot means that the wallet is connected to the internet, and that means that the private key could potentially be accessible. Cold means your wallet does not have an active connection to the internet, which more or less reduces your risk down to a physical security breach. Most top crypto exchanges today store the majority of their users' funds in cold wallets for this exact reason. Now, if you are fortunate enough to be involved in Bitcoin back in the early days, then your first exposure to a cryptocurrency wallet was likely the iconic Bitcoin QT. Bitcoin QT was created back in 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin. This is why some people refer to the Bitcoin QT wallet as the Satoshi client. Given the time period, support came in the form of a desktop version as smartphones were still in their infancy. It was compatible with Windows, Linux, and the Mac OS, so no one was left out if they wanted to give Bitcoin a test run back then. This was a full node wallet, which meant it would store the entire history of the Bitcoin blockchain locally. When Bitcoin started back in 2009, there wasn't a whole lot of data on the blockchain for a wallet to have to sync. But as each year went by, using the QT client meant you had to have some storage space and patience, because depending on your internet connection, it could take days to download the full blockchain. The wallet had a simple yet functional interface, and I can personally attest to how much fun it was using it at the time. Over the years, things have changed when it comes to the so-called official client for Bitcoin. For starters, it's not called Bitcoin QT anymore. A rebrand to Bitcoin Core took place when version 0.9 was released. And of course, Satoshi isn't looking after it anymore, as that duty has been passed down to the Bitcoin Foundation now. When I first got involved in Bitcoin back in 2012, the Bitcoin QT wallet was my first real interaction with the network, and I ended up using that wallet for many years. Heck, I still use it today, as the QT wallet brand has been adopted by other top standalone blockchains and often serves as their official client. To sum it up, for the first couple years, Bitcoin was really the only option out there. And generally speaking, that's why people were using the QT wallet. But in 2011 though, that all changed. And that's because on November 5th, 2011, the Electrum wallet was released. This was another Bitcoin wallet, but there was a key difference here. Electrum was a light wallet. What this meant was you didn't have to download and store the entire Bitcoin blockchain within your wallet to use it like you did with QT. Now, people with slow or unreliable internet connections weren't being punished, nor were those that were low on storage space. This type of wallet is called SPV, or Simple Payment Verification. And this technology would allow smartphones to dominate the wallet industry in the years that followed. Like QT, Electrum was also a desktop wallet that supported Windows, Linux, and Macintosh OS. Another similarity that Electrum had with the QT wallet is it also had a permissive license. This saw the Electrum wallet being forked many times, expanding its reach to support networks such as Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. 2011 was also when the first mobile wallet started hitting the market. One in particular, simply dubbed Bitcoin Wallet, got a lot of attention. Created by Andreas Schaldbach, it was exclusive to Android devices and served as one of the first smartphone-friendly wallets. This made Bitcoin much more accessible to users who didn't want to sit at their laptop or desktop PC all day. Another popular wallet solution around this time was the good old-fashioned, low-maintenance paper wallet. These were useful for receiving and storing coins only. And that's because you'd have to import the private key into a software-based wallet if you wanted to send those coins back out. The idea was simple though, and most importantly, it worked. You could print out a wallet via its private key and public addresses. And ideally, you'd generate and print the wallet offline due to security reasons. As long as you could keep that piece of paper secure, the paper wallet worked wonders, and it's still used today because of this. It would be a few more years before any major innovations with wallets occurred, but once they arrived, they changed the way people use crypto forever. In August of 2013, BitGo, a big name at the space at the time, created the first Bitcoin multi-signature wallet. This ended up changing the game as it greatly increased the security that was offered to cryptonauts. Multi-sig wallets work by requiring multiple private keys to move funds. To initiate a transaction using a multi-sig wallet, a specific number of cosigners must first sign off on the transaction using their private key. For example, in a 2 of 3 multi-sig wallet setup, each of the 3 cosigners must be given their own private key. To successfully send money out of that wallet, a transaction must first be approved by 2 of the 3 cosigners who will sign the transaction, or it won't be processed. You can start to see how this would be a real pain in the ass for a hacker who had got access to a wallet they wanted to steal money from that had a multi-sig setup in place. The risk of a single point of failure with just one private key in play was now gone. It's also around this time that the industry saw an influx of web wallets show up, which meant you would access them via a web browser. The most common example of this would be a centralized crypto exchange who would host and maintain a wallet for you, making it much more convenient. However, this perk did come at a price because it meant that you are now trusting a third party to look after the private key and thus your coins for you. In the prehistoric days of crypto, not many people were thinking about the mantra of not your keys, not your coins. And this is due to the fact that the industry hadn't yet been repeatedly victimized by unscrupulous exchange and wallet operators. Over time though, more and more problems began popping up with hosted wallet solutions, leading people to start looking at more decentralized ways of storing their coins. If you were involved with Mt. Gox back in 2014, then you know exactly what I'm talking about here. The exchange had been fatally hacked and was going under. So what did they do? They restricted access to users' funds. What this meant was that users were unable to withdraw their coins off the exchange, trapping their money there. This scenario was only possible because none of the users on Mt. Gox actually owned the private key to their wallet. Mt. Gox did. Nightmares like this are Exhibit A when it comes to identifying reasons why the industry eventually evolved to support decentralized exchanges, or DEXs. But it was a different world back in 2014, and for a lot of people, leaving their coins on a centralized exchange just made sense. 2014 also saw the introduction of a brand new type of crypto storage, the hardware wallet. On July 29th, Trezor, one of the leading hardware wallet providers, released their very first offering called the Trezor One. These devices had their own wallet installed, and since they were offline, the only time they were exposed to the internet was when it was time to send out some coinage. Storing your coins on a Trezor meant that to be a victim of theft, you likely had to have a breach in your physical security, as online hackers weren't going to be having much success with this kind of setup. In December, Ledger, another top hardware wallet provider, released their flagship offering called the Nano. Over the years, many more hardware wallet providers have released solutions to the market, But by far, the two most popular still remain Ledger and Trezor.
For a lot of people, especially in the early days of Bitcoin, the wallet was everything. You downloaded one piece of software and it mined, it validated transactions, it created private keys, it allowed you to send and receive Bitcoin, sync the entire blockchain. It was all in one.
That's their entry into this space, being able to hold cryptocurrency, buy, sell, trade. It is their gateway into this, whether that's on an exchange, whether it's a self-custody wallet, it is their entry into this space, and it also governs that user's experience.
Really, you want to hold your own coins. That's the basis of cryptocurrency, and that's why it's important to the financial world, is because people control their own money. If you don't hold your own coins, you don't control your own money, and that's really the beginning of this entire conversation.
There are massive trade-offs in having somebody else hold your cryptocurrency versus you holding it yourself. If you think about it, the ability to hold your cryptocurrency is the entire reason why Bitcoin was built.
Typically, most trading platforms require you to give them the custodial access to the coins. That way you can trade them instantly and there doesn't have to be a back and forth and a price set.
And that opens you up to counterparty risk. Counterparty risk just means that you have to rely on that third party to act in good faith with your assets that you're entrusting in them, because they have 100% control and ownership.
Really, you don't want to leave those coins on the exchange. And you have to understand that a lot of when you hear cryptocurrency hacks and things that happen to people losing coins, it's because they left those coins on the exchange.
And while it's better to take control of your own assets, you have to be ready and responsible for those.
With great power comes great responsibility. Well, this is another example of it.
I think cold storage is the most important one, because that's where the majority of your assets are going to lie.
Make sure that you have most of your coins, if not all your coins, backed up in private key wallets. Have multiple private key wallets. Never share those private keys with anybody. Segregate storage of the private keys as well, because like, let's say you put them all on a piece of paper and then you put them in a filing cabinet and then you have a fire, they're gone.
In 2016, the industry had now grown to support thousands of cryptocurrencies. Ethereum was going through its ICO or initial coin offering boom, thanks to the advent of the ERC-20 standard, which meant new tokens were hitting the market on literally an hourly basis. Managing a new wallet for each blockchain out there was now becoming a real hassle for a lot of users. You had to store your Bitcoin in one wallet, your Litecoin in another, and even Ethereum had its own native wallet too. There just had to be a better way. And there was. One of the most popular wallets today, Exodus, entered the scene in 2016. They had a compelling offering in that they had an HD wallet, or hierarchical deterministic. This meant that the wallet had a master seed phrase that was used to generate a series of private and public keys for the various coins it supported. Companies like Exodus made multi-currency wallets realistic to use. Not only did you not have to have a new wallet for each coin you owned, but you didn't even have to remember the private keys of any of them because they all tied back to the master seed phrase. Going forward, if you're using a wallet that didn't offer multi-currency support, it would have to be pretty damn good to justify all the extra work involved. The industry was clearly growing, and very fast. But for all the growth it was experiencing and all the new things coming out, the industry was also becoming more streamlined. And this is an important factor, as it was pretty much required to onboard new users who weren't as technologically savvy. One of the few exceptions to this rule was on standalone blockchains, where the wallet would be performing unique services for that network. One such example of this are masternodes, which is a concept that really took off during this era. Masternodes are dedicated full node wallets that offer services to users on the network like privacy on their transactions and faster than normal transaction processing times. Dash, a top standalone blockchain, introduced the masternode concept. And since then, it's become common for masternode networks to release their own customized wallet to support all the services that are running through them. After the wild bull market of 2017 had passed into memory, many of the companies did not survive the brutally harsh crypto winter that set in afterwards. However, for major players who had been around for years now, this was the time to start focusing on adoption. Whether it was Coinbase, eToro, or Blockchain.com, mobile wallet apps started to become the norm. And pretty soon, if you were a company that had crypto users coming to your site, then the next logical step was to develop a wallet app to capture their business and coins. As the new decade was approaching, the industry started to see more browser-based wallets pop up. Metamask, the most popular wallet for Ethereum, is likely one of the best examples of this, but you can also find examples on Solana with Phantom and on Bitcoin with Unisat. More recently, DeFi or decentralized finance and NFTs or non-fungible tokens have been added into the wallet experience. With DeFi, this can mean easy access to a DEX, liquidity provision, yield farming, or loans and savings products. With NFTs, you often get specialized features for storing, managing, and trading your digital assets. You can also expect integration with some of the biggest NFT marketplaces out there, as well as support for NFT standards such as ERC 721 and ERC 1155. In the Web3 world we live in today, your digital wallet acts as your passport in the sense that it gives you access to just about everything. You log into websites via your wallet in the Web3 world, which means you can forget about the traditional usernames and passwords.
In about 5 to 10 years, really we'll see a huge suite of wallets, but for individual specific purposes.
Proof of a concert you went to, or whether it is something you earned within a game. Just like today in the physical world, people will get a plaque or a trophy and they'll either hang it on their wall or they'll put it on a mantle. And we're going to see that with social wallets, but those same wallets are also going to have privacy features built in. Privacy when you want it, social when you want to share. You get that mix of both.
It has to feel like it's just a normal thing that people use.
Just like there's no reason for a user to have to see those long, complex wallet addresses. They're important, but the user doesn't have to see them.
Why do I need to have a public address with a bunch of letters and numbers? Why can't I have my name? Vio's doing that. That's a great company.
Human readable wallet addresses that actually allow you to link all your different public blockchain wallet addresses to one single handle. It's in a format of user at domain, so it's very similar to sending an email. And it also provides those guardrails for the new user because it doesn't allow you to send to the wrong address, and it also doesn't allow you to send on the wrong chain.
Fundamentally, you really need that specificity and feature set that is designed and meant for that use case of cryptocurrency. And that's what I see happening in 5 to 10 years, if not, in many ways, already happening today.
I'll wind down today's tale with some advice. Crypto wallets play an integral role for us as we are trusting them with our hard-earned money. You should always do research into the wallet you're about to use and make sure you feel comfortable with the reputation that they carry. An example of a wallet provider that made its users feel rather uncomfortable took place in May of 2023 with Ledger. They announced a new service called Ledger Recover. And for a fee, they would offer their users a seed phrase recovery system that involved third-party custodians. As you might expect, this news didn't go over very well at all. Some users pointed out that the firmware update to enable the recovery system broke an important policy. And this was Ledger's policy of never allowing the private key off of the device under any circumstances. Given that this was the main selling feature for Ledger's devices in the first place, they wisely decided to postpone this service. The point here is that you always need to keep yourself updated with the products and services that you're using, especially when it comes to wallets. It's pretty exciting to daydream about what the future of wallets will look like 10 years from now. Will there be built-in tax tools and inheritance planning? And will the deed to my house be in the form of an NFT that's sitting in a wallet that I control? The only thing that we know for sure is that wallets have been with us every step of the way along this crazy crypto journey. Well, I guess there's two things that we know for certain, because wallets will certainly be joining us for the rest of this journey into the future, and that's a very good thing. I hope you enjoyed today's stroll down memory lane. Until next time, have fun and enjoy life, my friends. I'll be back soon with another incredible story to tell you.